Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare हरि नाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 10, chapter entitled Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions, verse number 42. So I will recite this shloka, you can recite after me. Sa evedam jagadhata Bhagavan dharma rupadhrik Pushnati sthapayan vishvam Tiryanarasuradibhi Sa evedam jagadhata Bhagavan dharma rupadhrik Pushnati sthapayan vishwan Tiryanarasuradibhi Sa evedam jagadhata Bhagavan dharma rupadhrik Pushnati sthapayan vishvam Tiryanarasuradibhi Sevedam jagadhata Bhagavan dharma rupadre Yenadi sthapayan vishwam Tiryanarasuradibhi Sevedam jagadhata Bhagavan dharma rupadrik Pushnati sthapayan vishvam Tiryanarasuradibhi. Matajis. Saivedam jagadhata Bhagavan dharma rupadhrik Pushnati sthapayan vishwan Tiryan Narasuradibhi. Word for word meaning. Saha, he, eva, certainly, idam, this, Jagadhata, the maintainer of the entire universe, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Dharma Rupa Dhrik, assuming the form of religious principles, Pushnati, maintains, Sthapayan, after establishing, Vishwam, the universes, Tiryak, living entities lower than the human beings, Nara, the human beings, Suradibihi, by the demigodly incarnations. Translation: He, the personality of Godhead, as the maintainer of all in the universe, appears in different incarnations after establishing the creation, and thus he reclaims all kinds of conditioned souls amongst the humans, the non-humans, and the demigods. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, incarnates himself in different societies of living entities to reclaim them from the clutches of illusion, and such activities of the Lord are not limited only to human society. He incarnates himself even as a fish, hawk, tree, and many other forms. But less intelligent persons who have no knowledge of him deride him even if he is in human society as a human being. The Lord therefore says in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, Avijananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhutam heshwaram. As we have already discussed in the previous verses, it is concluded that the Lord is never a product of the material creation. His transcendental position is always unchanged. He is the eternal form of knowledge and bliss. And he executes his almighty will by his different energies. As such, he is never the subject of reactions for any of his acts. He is transcendental to all such conceptions of actions and reactions. Even if he is visible in the material world, the exhibition is only of his internal energy, for he is above the good and bad conceptions of this material world. In the material world, the fish or the hog may be considered lower than the man. But when the Lord appears as a fish or hog, he is neither of them in the material conception, but he is never to be considered one of them. Conceptions of the material world, such as good and bad, lower and upper, important and insignificant, are estimations of the material energy, and the Supreme Lord is transcendental to all such conceptions. The words Parambhavam or transcendental nature can never be compared to the material conception. We should not forget that the potencies of the Almighty Lord are always the same and do not decrease because the Lord assumes the form of a lower animal. There is no difference between Lord Sri Ram, Lord Sri Krishna and his incarnations as a fish and hog. He is all pervading and simultaneously localized at any and every place. But the foolish person with a poor fund of knowledge, for want of that param bhavam of the Lord, cannot understand how the Supreme Lord can take the form of a man or a fish. One compares everything to one's own standard of knowledge. As the frog in the well considers the sea to be like the well, the frog in the well cannot even think of the sea. And when such a frog is informed of the greatness of the sea, it takes the conception of the sea as being a little greater than the well. As such, one who is foolish about the transcendental signs of the Lord will find it difficult to understand how Lord Vishnu can equally manifest himself in every society of living entities. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class that we have every day. So, before I begin to speak anything from this exalted subject matter, I would like to seek blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas and also those who are hearing online, so that I can speak something which is purifying for all of us and also beneficial to all of us. So, it's an interesting theme that is going on in second canto Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sarga, Visarga, and so on. So, till few verses back, we were discussing about the Sarga part, the primary creation of this universe. Now, Shukdev Goswami has entered into the second topic, discussing briefly on the Visarga part, the secondary creation of the Lord. So, generally, the primary creation of the Lord begins at the beginning of the life of Brahma, and Visarga begins at the day of Brahma. Every day Brahma has to create again and again. So primary creations involves the creation of the 16 material elements and other things, and secondary creation includes the creation of all the different varieties of creatures in this world. So that particular section is briefly started. And yesterday, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was discussing on the 3 modes, how the various creatures come into existence based on the 3 modes that they are in. And in today's verse, Shukdev Goswami is speaking about the maintenance aspect of Krishna. Like we have these 3 aspects: creation, maintenance, and destruction. So it is mentioned that although creation and destruction is not so easy, but it's not so difficult also when compared to the maintenance part, right? So maintenance is a huge time period. For example, if you see, you might have heard about redwood trees in America. So to plant a tree may take some time, and to destroy a tree may take few hours of time. But to maintain the tree for such a long time, it is mentioned that these redwood trees would live for 5,000 years. So you can imagine what kind of maintenance is needed for them. Someone is maintaining. So as creation is not automatic, destruction is also not automatic, so maintenance is also not automatic. Someone is taking care of maintenance of this world, maintenance of the living entities. So somehow we have come to this material world, abandoning Krishna, where you were living happily with Krishna in spiritual world. And we have come to this world to live independent of Krishna, try to become like Krishna, Ishvara Bhav, as it is said. But Krishna is so merciful that he has not abandoned us. He is accompanying us all the way, even when we are in this material world, right? Providing us all the necessities of life, all that is required for us to live at least comfortably in this material world, peacefully in this world. So Krishna has not rejected us. He is still accompanying us in this material world, trying to help us provide all the necessities of the life. At the same time, to also take us back to the spiritual world. So these are the two things which Krishna is eager to do to help us in these ways. So generally two themes are discussed in this particular shloka. Krishna as the maintainer of this universe, material world, and also Krishna maintains all the living entities, all their needs and necessities. And second theme is Krishna as the reclaimer of conditioned souls. And both these themes are very much interconnected also. Right? While Krishna is providing the maintenance of this world, he is also eager to take us back. So these two themes are very much connected, and we will be discussing on these two things. Mainly the first one, Krishna as the maintainer. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the class, like three aspects: creation, maintenance, and destruction. So creation is being taken care of by Lord Brahmaji, and destruction, the task of destruction is given to Lord Shiva. But when it comes to maintenance, Vishnu, the Lord himself, has taken that seva. Because maintenance is not easy, it's a very difficult phase. Right? So the Purusha avatar, like when Krishna comes to this world, he expands himself into various incarnations. So one of the incarnations of Krishna is Purusha avatar. These Purusha avatars helps the conditioned living entity. These Purusha avatars mainly deal with the interaction with the material world and the spiritual world, trying to help us to live peaceful in this world, at the same time how to take us back to the spiritual world. So we have Karmodakshayi Vishnu, Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. So this Kshirodakshayi Vishnu is the maintainer of this universe. So that is the task given to the third Purusha avatar, that is Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. So Lord is helping all the living entities. He is maintaining all the living entities both in the material world as well as the spiritual world. It's not that he is taking care of us here only, but in spiritual world also we are so much dependent on Krishna. So he is maintainer at both the places. Right? But as Srila Prabhupada mentions, Mudhas, Aujananti Ma Muda, Manusham Tanum Ashritam. So these foolish people of this world, they do not understand greatness of Krishna, how Krishna functions in this material world, how he maintains the spiritual material world. So this they are not able to understand because of poor fund of knowledge, or rather we can say because of lack of knowledge, because of ignorance of what is what. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, this maintenance aspect of Krishna is been represented by many terminologies. In this shloka, Krishna uses the word dhataram, which is nothing but maintenance, which Krishna will be taking care of. And also it is called as Bhava Bhavana. So Bhava represents the material world, and Bhavana is like maintenance of this material world. So if you see in this material world, there are so many things which are happening so nicely. Seasons are happening periodically. After rainy season, the winter season comes, and then comes the summer season, and then rainy season comes. So these seasonal changes are happening so nicely periodically. Someone is overseeing this. Of course, material nature is overseeing all of this, but under the supervision of Krishna. Right? And every day the sun is rising in the east and setting in the west. So these things are happening so nicely. Right? And none of them is happening automatically. Someone is there behind this. You can imagine a tree. A tree can produce fruits, and every fruit contains seeds. And again in that seed there is a tree that is implanted. Again when the tree is produced, again it produces fruits. So you can imagine what kind of model has been created in this world. Right? So a person who is intelligent enough can understand that there is someone behind this, someone who is actually taking care of all of this, creation, maintenance, as well as the destruction. Right? So maintenance is also not automatic. So there is a person behind that, and that is Lord Krishna. So Krishna is also called as Dhataram, as I mentioned, maintainer of all the living entities. So elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, the other words like Bhuta Brit, Sarva Brit, Janardhan, the meaning of Janardhan is also maintainer of the living entities. So all of us in Bhakti Shastri, we learn about Ishopanishad, which actually begins with the invocation prayer. Om Purnamada Purnavidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. So Krishna is the complete personality. There is no lacking in Krishna. And he has created this material world which is also complete, which is also perfect. Right? This Jagat is Satya. Although it may be temporary, but it is Satya and it is complete. Complete in what sense? Complete in the sense that there is proper arrangement made in this material world for our existence. And unfortunately, we are trying to exploit the material resources in this world, trying to enjoy independent of Krishna. That's a different case. And because of which we are suffering in this world. So Krishna is providing us all the necessary things that is required for sustaining our lives. Right? So this is Dhataram, Bhutabhrit, Sarvabhrit or Janardhana. So Krishna is providing all these facilities to everyone. Whether someone is an atheist, someone is the hater of God, antagonist, anyone or a devotee of the Lord, He is providing for everyone, irrespective of whether they believe in Him, whether they like Him, love Him or not. So that is Krishna. He is taking care of everyone. Like even before the child is born in this world, right? Krishna provides the food for the child in the form of mother's milk, right? Exactly before the child takes birth. So that means Krishna is taking care of everyone, right from the beginning of our lives. The problem is that most of us, we do not understand this, that Krishna is behind this. And we may think that everything is happening because I am doing something. I am the Lord of all that survey. This is the condition, material conditioning that we are in, because of which we are suffering. So having left Krishna, when we have come to this world, we are trying to become like Krishna. In what sense? By doing these four things, which Krishna actually does. We are trying to become controllers, we are trying to become enjoyers, we are trying to become proprietors, and we are trying to become doer. I am doing because, and that's why things are happening. So because of these four things, when we are trying to do these four things in this material world, we are getting frustrated. We may be controller, maybe up to some extent, some limit. But Krishna is the supreme controller. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He can enjoy unlimitedly. And our enjoyment is so limited. Right? Hardly we can eat our favorite dish, maybe few pieces. But after that we get frustrated. We cannot enjoy. We have limitation. But we do not understand this. And we are trying to become controllers, enjoyers, proprietors and doers. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the peace formula, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam Gnatma Mam Shantim Richati. So this is so amazing that Prabhupada has mentioned this shloka as peace formula. Right? Peace of mind. Everyone is looking for peace of mind in this world. So Krishna has given that peace formula, how to become Shanti Maya. So how? When we understand Krishna is the enjoyer, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, He is the enjoyer of all the Yajnas. Krishna is the supreme controller. See, we are trying to become controllers, trying to control people, trying to control the circumstances, right? And which are not at all in our control. And that is how we get frustrated. But Krishna mentions that, do not try to become like me. You will get frustrated. Try to cooperate with me, and that is how you can also enjoy. That is the real kind of enjoyment that we can experience. And we also think that whatever is happening in my life, because I am earning, because I am getting money, I am able to provide for my family members. I am trying to enjoy this world because I am doing something. This doer mentality is also a cause of frustration in this world. But Krishna clearly explains in Bhagavad Gita, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. So there are many doers. Material world is also doing so many things because of which we are getting so many things. Krishna is the ultimate doer because unless Krishna sanctions, nothing happens in this world. Daiva, the fifth factor for every task to become successful. So we think that I am the doer. but there are many other doers also. So we are actually dependent on so many factors. So forgetting that we are trying to become the Lord of all that we survey in this world. So that is how we have forgotten that Krishna is maintaining. And instead we are thinking that I am maintaining. I am the maintainer of myself, my family, this nation, community, and so many things. It can extend up to so many limits also. So that is the second aspect of maintenance of Krishna. He is providing all the necessary things for us in this world. And the third aspect of maintenance of Krishna is Shaswata Dharma Gopta. Bhagavatams also discuss about this particular concept. So Krishna is maintainer of eternal religion. And what does that mean? It means Krishna is trying to give us dharma to practice in this world, by which we can go back to the spiritual world. The second theme which I mentioned in the beginning, that is given in the shloka, is Krishna is the reclaimer of all the conditioned souls. So Krishna is more eager to take us back to the spiritual world, more than we desire. We don't have so much desire as Krishna has. He wanted us to take us to the spiritual world. And why? Because Krishna knows that we will be more happy there, not here. He's seeing we getting frustrated in this world. Somehow we are not understanding that. Although we are experiencing misery in this world, but we are not understanding. Because we are situated in the lower modes, Rajogun and Tamogun. Right? So how Krishna is maintaining the eternal religion in this world? So he promises in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has given us Bhagavad Gita through Arjuna. Krishna has given us Srimad Bhagavatam through the grandson of Arjuna, that is Parikshit Maharaj. And Krishna himself promises in Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharatam. So he says, I will come in every yuga, because he is the upholder of dharma. Right? Whenever there is glani, degradation of religion, Krishna comes and re-establishes the dharma. So in this way, Krishna is maintaining the eternal religion in this world, which is very much required. Dharma especially is meant for human beings. Animals do not understand dharma. This is meant for human beings. So in this way, Krishna has given us Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, by which we can practice the eternal religion, the Sanatan Dharma of the soul. And then Krishna also situated as Paramatma in our hearts as Chaitya Guru. Sometimes we experience in our life, there is some inner call that is coming. Someone is trying to speak to us from inside. Right? That is our eternal friend Krishna. Right? Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. So as Chaitya Guru, from inside, Krishna is also trying to give us good advice. But somehow we are not able to listen, because the noise from the outside world is so much, and we are so attracted to that sound vibration, we are not able to hear this sound of Krishna. So that is our durbhagya, misfortune. And that is created by us, none other than us. So as Krishna, as Paramatma, he is there to guide us, so that we can turn towards Krishna. So Krishna wants us to see us and hear him. So we are unmukha, we are seeing in the different direction, not towards Krishna. But Krishna is there trying to help us to re-establish the eternal religion in our hearts. That is the second aspect of this third thing. And the third one is, as mentioned in the purport in very detailed form, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, Krishna also incarnates in this world. Time and again he comes to this world in various, and it is mentioned he comes in various species. Not only human beings, but he comes in so many varieties of species. He comes in the Swarga Loka also, in the higher planetary systems, to attract them towards him. Like Vaman Avatar has appeared in the Swarga Loka as the younger brother of Lord Indra. So he has come to re-establish dharma there also, to help the demigods. Then Krishna also appeared in the species of animals, as Matsya Avatar, as Kurma Avatar, to attract those species also. Then we have Narsingh Avatar, half man and half lion incarnation. And of course, in human beings also Krishna appears like Lord Krishna and Lord Ramachandra. So Prabhupada mentions in more detail about this, hog and fish incarnations. So they may be creatures small, lower than the human beings, but it does not mean that they are lower in any sense. They are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have the same potency like that of Krishna and Ram. There is no difference between that. Equally attractive, right? So here Krishna is mentioning that he comes every yuga in this world as in different avatars, just to attract us towards him, so that we can again practice the eternal religion and go back to the spiritual world, which is the desire of Krishna. As I mentioned, Krishna is more eager to take us back to the spiritual world. This is how he is maintaining the eternal religion, the Sanatan Dharma in this world. And of course, Krishna also appears as his representative in the form of spiritual master, Guru, right? Who is there constantly to guide us on this path of Sanatan Dharma, so that we can practice and go back to the spiritual world. So in this way, Krishna is trying to maintain us in so many ways. An intelligent person will understand. Someone who is actually regularly studying scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, he can understand. Someone is there behind us. Someone is trying to help us, maintain us, protect us, right? So that is our problem that we have forgotten. How about Krishna's maintenance and protection for his devotees? Is that anything special than the other aspects of maintenance and protection? Yes, of course. So Krishna, although he is neutral to everyone, but he is leaning towards his devotees. And that is natural also, it is very obvious. Right? Bhagavad Gita, Shloka 9.22, Krishna mentions, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate, tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam mahamyam. So this particular verse explains how Krishna intervenes in the life of his devotees, takes personal care of his devotees. Right? By mentioning the two words, Kshema and Vahami. Like, very interesting thing. So what is Kshema? Kshema, like we use this word, it's a Sanskrit word, protection and preserving. So whatever we lack in this world, Krishna try to provide that to us. That is the aspect. And Vahami means he preserves what we already have. He protects already that we have. So by doing these two things, Krishna is actually taking charge of his devotees. Right? So, Vahami Aham. So Krishna is so powerful that many of his things are getting done by his energies. But here Krishna is mentioning Vahami Aham. I will personally take care of this responsibility. He could have easily delegated this task to someone else. But he is saying that I will take the responsibility myself. That is what he is assuring here in this shloka, Bhagavad Gita shloka. So as I mentioned, this verse, speaks about personal intervention and protection and care of Krishna. Right? And Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajamyaham. But then it depends on what kind of faith and devotion that we have. Accordingly, Krishna also reciprocates. Right? So this particular statement, the last line of this verse, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham, is generally quoted by the Life Insurance Corporation, LIC, isn't it? So they actually cannot even insure our life. Someone has taken LIC policy during his existence. So the money actually goes to his dependents after he dies. He even cannot enjoy that. So there is no assurance or insurance even for this life in this material world. So what to speak of the eternal life? So real life insurance is someone guaranteeing that you will go back to the eternal life of enjoyment, back to the spiritual world, which Krishna is assuring here. And that is the actual insurance policy, right? Which Krishna is mentioning in this verse by doing Kshema and Vahami. So Krishna is blessing us both at the material and the spiritual level also, trying to take care of our material needs and spiritual needs also. Right? As I mentioned, Krishna is providing to even the atheist, even those who hate God. So what to speak of devotees? Will he not provide them? Definitely he will provide them. Right? Once we start taking care of someone, it is not that we are choosy, we are discriminating. I will only take care of this aspect of your life, not this. Not like that. So when we care for someone, we take care of that personality in wholesome, from different ways also. So if you see in this world, generally people have two kinds of fear. One kind of fear is if someone has something, so they have the fear of losing that. Someone will steal away that I possess, especially the money part if you see. So we are fearful of that. And second kind of fear is something which we do not have and we want to have, but somehow we are not trying to get that. We are unable to get that. Right? Whether I will be able to get it or not. That is also a fear that we have. Right? Especially in today's age where everything is online. People have their bank transactions also online. And what if someone has stolen your credentials, bank credentials? Then you're gone, everything is gone. So that is a fear constantly there, and many such cases are happening also in today's time. Right? So there is so much of fear in this world. So that's why Krishna is assuring here that I will do both the things. I will protect what you already have, and also I will provide what you don't have. Right? So that is what Krishna, that is actual assurance which Krishna is giving, real insurance. And we have this story in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srivas Thakur, who is a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Srivas Thakur, so I see that you do not work, you do not go out for some job or something like that. But I see you are always chanting Hare Krishna. How are you able to maintain your life? Again, we are coming to the maintenance part. So who is maintaining you? How is that your whole family is being maintained? And I see no one is working in your house. Everyone is just chanting the names of Lord Krishna. Right? So Srivas Thakur, he does nothing, he just claps 3 times. 3 times he claps. So Mahaprabhu does not understand. So what do you mean by that? What do you mean by clapping like this 3 times? So Srivas Thakur explains, for the first day, if my needs are not taken care, then I will fast. And second day, if my needs are not taken care, I will fast even more vigorously. And on the third day, if my needs are not taken care, then all of us, all my family members, including me, we will drown ourselves in Ganga. So then, that is how he answers. So Mahaprabhu internally, he becomes so happy. And he says, my dear Srivas Thakur, your faith is so immense on the protection and maintenance of Krishna that even if Lakshmi Devi becomes poverty stricken, then even then also your needs will be taken care. That is the assurance which Krishna is giving. Of course, we cannot imitate this clapping of Srivas Thakur because our level of faith may not be on that level which Srivas Thakur has. But then he had so much faith on the maintenance and protection of Krishna, right? He was able to do that. So that is what Krishna is promising in this verse, right? But still, even after hearing so much, still people may have this question. If I devote myself to God, will He provide all my needs? Even the devotee community may have this question. Yes, definitely. And here I would like to mention about what Chaitanya Acharya Prabhu speaks on this aspect. He says, before we understand the provision part of Krishna, let us try to see the vision also. Vision of Krishna, right? Provision and vision. So Krishna says, Krishna's provision is much more better than what we can imagine also. Much more higher and much more deeper than what we can imagine. So Krishna's provision is to give us the process, give us the means by which we can have the eternal life of enjoyment, which is bhakti, which is yoga. Yoga kshemam vahamyam. And yoga culminates, all different kinds of yoga culminates into bhakti yoga at the end. So Krishna will give us the path of bhakti by which we can go towards the eternal life of enjoyment. That is the deeper understanding of what Krishna can provide us. Not just the daily needs of our life, right? That is deeper. So that is the actual meaning of what Krishna provides. But then we see in the life of devotees also, many devotees go through a lot of miserable situation also. So how to understand that? For example, like sometimes a doctor may restrict the patient from eating some of the foodstuffs because that is not good for his health. He will not recover unless he restrict himself from those foodstuffs. So the patient may think that I am bereft of something, but that is good for the person. So similarly, Krishna may sometimes do not give us what we may want to have in our lives, because Krishna knows that is not good for him. So temporarily he may withheld the resources from giving to us, but that does not mean that he is not taking care of us. He is actually giving us something higher. So in such situations also we can actually be connected to Krishna in the form of Shravanam and Kirtanam and Smaranam. That no one can take us from us. Right? Even if our health is not fine, even we are miserable, going through a lot of difficult situations, but these three things cannot be taken away from us. Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam. I remember during the COVID times, many of the devotees also went through a lot of difficult situation. But then these three things actually help them to come back to the normal situation. So Krishna is maintaining us in so many ways, as we have discussed, by giving us eternal religion, path of eternal religion, taking care of our necessities in this world, right? Then that means we owe so much to Krishna. Something is given to us, and most of the people in this world, that they do not even know that someone is providing them. And they think, we deserve this. But then before we deserve anything, before we desire anything in this world, we should first deserve. Right? If we don't pay back to the demigods, they are also providing us so much. And ultimately, by performing yajna, we can pay back to demigods. But then Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary of all the yajnas also. So by performing yajna, we can pay back to Krishna for all the maintenance and protection that he is giving to us. Right? And what is the kind of yajna that is recommended in this age of Kali Yuga? Sankirtan yajna, of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So having got this understanding that Krishna is the maintainer and protection of all of us, whether a devotee, non-devotee, anyone. So then we can pay back, we can show our gratitude to Krishna by by practicing Bhakti Yoga, especially by chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And the second thing that I mentioned in this, that is mentioned in this shloka, is connected to the first thing, maintenance thing. And that is, Krishna is the reclaimer of the conditioned souls. That is, Krishna wants to take us back to the spiritual world. He's so eager, he's concerned, he's worried. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this world, he said, I have so many fruits to distribute. The fruits of love of Godhead, Krishna Prem. But then I have only 2 hands. I need helping hands to distribute these fruits of love of Godhead, fruits of Krishna Prem. So we'll try to just briefly discuss about the conversation that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has with Srila Haridas Thakur on this topic, on the anxiety of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even God can be in anxiety. And what is the supermost anxiety of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How will I take back these conditioned souls back to the spiritual world? What should I do to take them back? So then, interesting conversation that happens. We see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu interacting with so many devotees, right? Getting them into conversation, dialogue. And then he poses so many questions. And then he makes the devotee to speak such essence of the scriptures and also to glorify the devotee. Time and again we see this in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Conversation between Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So many places. And now again with Srila Haridas Thakur. So what was the anxiety of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He says, how will these Yavanas get delivered? Right? Yavanas, what is the definition of Yavanas? Those who are killers of cows, those who are killers of Brahmanical culture. So how will they get delivered? They don't have any inclination to practice bhakti. So how will they be delivered? That was the anxiety of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? And since Krishna is the protector, he is the maintainer of the Brahmanical culture also. Again, this is one more aspect of the maintenance thing. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namah. So Krishna cannot see that the Brahmanical culture getting destroyed. The cows are getting destroyed, especially in this age of Kali Yuga. So he is in anxiety. So then to relieve the anxiety of the Lord, Srila Haridas Thakur speaks the glories of the holy name, chanting of the holy name. He says, my dear Lord, if they just take to this chanting of the holy names, they will be benefited. Right? So especially in India, if you see, no one can escape chanting of the names of the Lord, Rama and Krishna. One time I was coming in a cab and I got down at the gate of our temple. And without paying him, I was just entering the temple. I just forgot to pay him. And then he started calling me, hey, Hare Krishna. And that cab driver, he was not from our Hindu faith. He was from a different faith. So he just called me, hey, Hare Krishna, paise nahi diya aapne. So no one can escape in this, especially in India, without taking the names of Ram and Krishna. So Srila Haridas Thakur says, even if someone chants the name of this Lord, that is Namabhas, if they chant offenselessly, may not be attentively or trying to call Krishna, but trying to call someone else, like Ajamil calls Narayan. So even if they do Namabhas chanting, they will get immense benefit. Right? So then he says, when someone does Namabhas chanting, they get three things. Namabhas hoite hai sarva papaksha hai. All the sinful reactions are also destroyed by just chanting in Namabhas. Namabhas hoite hai samseraksha. One also loses the interest in the material world, in the material existence. Namabhase mukti hoye. It can also give us liberation. So Namabhas can give us liberation. What to speak of when we chant attentively without committing any offenses. Shuddhanam. So the benefits of Shuddhanam chanting is so high. Right? So this is how Haridas Thakur was replying to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to relieve his anxiety that these Yavanas can also be delivered if they just chant your names. And then he gives examples of even if they give a bad word like haram. Haram, although it is a bad word, it's a gali. But then it has the word letters Ra and Ma, Rama. So they will get a benefit of chanting Ram, the names of Lord Ram. That is how merciful our scriptures are. The Lord is. So in this way, Namabhas chanting can also deliver even a Yavana. The second anxiety which Mahaprabhu puts, what about those entities who are non-living, non-moving? Right? What about them? How will they be delivered? Like the plants, trees, stones, mountains, how will they be delivered? Then Haridas Thakur replies, so when we do loud chanting, especially when we do Harinam Sankirtan, like we have Makhanlal Charan Prabhu, Shadbhuj Prabhu team, every day they go out in the evening for Harinam Sankirtan, benefiting so many other living entities also. Right? So when we chant loudly the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so these plants, they also hear that and they respond, Pratidhvani. They also echo back, Hare, 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 something like that. So when we, loudly speak something like this in the mountain regions, then we get the echo sound, reflecting the same sound again back. So in this way, we can also benefit the entities like trees and plants. So that is how Haridas Thakur is replying here. And we also witness this in the Jharikand forest where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivers the animals also in that forest. They also start chanting the names of Hare Krishna. Right? The tiger is embracing a deer. The elephant is also dancing and chanting the names of Hare Krishna. Right? So by loud chanting, we can benefit the other living entities also. Now the third anxiety of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu which he expresses here is, what if everyone takes to Hare Krishna, the Krishna consciousness movement? What if everyone becomes a devotee? this whole world will become vacant. What about that? Of course, this is not an anxiety, but this is a question by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then he says, don't worry, my dear Lord, even if everyone is delivered, new people will come. Even if the prison becomes vacant, new criminals will come. Right? So Haridas Thakur gives the examples that, my dear Lord, when you came as Lord Ramchandra, you delivered all the citizens of Ayodhya. They all went back to the spiritual world. When you came as Krishna, you delivered all the people of Mathura, Vrindavan and Dwarka also. Right? You have done this, but again we see the whole universe is filled now with so many people. Right? And Prabhupada mentions, Karanam Gunasangasya Sadasad Yoni Janmashu. There will be living entities in this material world, who will again manifest. And those who are situated in Rajoguna and Tamoguna, most of them, they will be criminals only. Again, they will fill the prison cell. Prabhupada mentions in the purport. Right? I will just read out the exact statement. There are many unmanifested living entities covered by the mode of ignorance who will gradually come to the mode of passion. Most of them will become criminals because of their fruitive activities and again fill the prisons. Again the prison will get filled. So that is not our worry. My Lord, at least deliver those who are present currently. Please show your mercy. And then Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur says to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, with your incarnation, you have also delivered all the people of this universe. And now immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stops the conversation. Now bahut ho gaya. He is internally happy, but externally he stops the conversation. Because that was the truth spoken by Haridas Thakur. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets astonished when we hear such confidential pastimes of himself coming from the mouth of Srila Haridas Thakur. So in this way, Krishna is always in anxiety and he is concerned about us. And his major concern is how will he take us back to the spiritual world. Because as long as we are here in this material world, we cannot be happy. When we are trying to become the four things, as I mentioned, controller, enjoyer, proprietor and doer mentality. So as long as we are trying to do these four things, we cannot be happy, we will get frustrated. So that's why Krishna has given us to give us the eternal path of religion. Right? The process of bhakti, by which we can go back to the spiritual world. So that is how he is trying to maintain and protect the living entities of this world. Right? Again, this is compassion which Krishna is showing. So we, as I mentioned, we have abandoned Krishna, we have rejected Krishna, we came to this material world, but he is mercifully always trying to help us. So, as I mentioned, all of us, we owe so much to Krishna, to his representatives, to the devotees, that he has given so much. He is maintaining us, he is protecting us, yoga kshemam, vahamyaham, as we have discussed. So it is our duty to pay back to Krishna, show our gratitude to Krishna by performing the Sankirtan Yajna of chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I will stop here. Anyone has any comments or a question we can take? Yes, Prabhu. Can someone give him mic? Chanting. Yes. Samsarakshay, Papakshay and Mukti. We lose interest in the material world, that is Samsarakshay. And first one is Papakshay, all the sinful reactions are also destroyed. Third one is we can also get liberation. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Thank you so much. Grantra Srimad Bhagavat Purana ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Krishna.